Hello, everyone. So, as you know, writing is an important part of any language, and it's not just a bunch of random words thrown together without any thought or any idea. Unfortunately, every language has a different way of putting sentences together, and for us to learn it will take time. So, in any language, we need sentences that are correctly built and organized. So today, this is what we're going to do. We are exploring sentence structure in English. Therefore, buckle up, sit comfortably, listen carefully, and learn with me. And of course, don't skip the little part, which is the practice. So we have to start from somewhere, right? What is a sentence? Well, a sentence is a group or a set of words which is complete. Each sentence has a subject, and sometimes the subject can be actually hidden, and a predicate, which are information stating something about the subject. As you can imagine, there are different types of sentences, not just one. So in English, we have 4 types of sentences. The first one is the basic sentence. Second is a compound sentence. Third is a complex sentence. And the last one is a compound complex sentence structure. And off we go. Now we're going to explore all of them. Okay, so let's begin from a basic sentence, which is the probably simplest one to learn. Basic sentence is called also an independent clause, which means that sentence can stand on its own and it doesn't need any extra help. So basic sentence has a subject, verb, object, or complement. Object usually is a one word, but a complement can be a group of words. In general, subject could be singular or plural. So when we have a singular subject, the example could be, my cat is sleeping on his chair. An example of plural subject, boys and girls love to play outside during a break. Of course, basic sentence can be written or said using any tense, and there is no really any difference. Basic sentence doesn't have to be short. It actually can be quite long when we add a lot of details that can describe the subject or the object. On the contrary, we can actually write a very long basic sentences. Well, simple sentence may seem to be limited when it comes to information. However, it plays certain roles and has many functions. So for example, that basic sentence could be a statement, a question, a short direction, an exclamation, or just a simple list. Now, let's take a look at the examples on this page. And I would like you to take a look also on the formation of the sentence. So example number 1, the cat is sleeping. We simply have a subject and a verb. We don't really have an object here. It's still a basic sentence. Number 2, Jerry is happy. Subject, verb, and an adjective. In our case, this is a part of the complement. Okay, next one, children play with a ball. Subject, verb, and object. A ball here is our object. And the last one, John and Maggie went to Toronto 2 weeks ago. Definitely subject, verb, and the complement. And off we go. We're moving to the next part. Okay, number 2 is a compound sentence which has 2 or more independent clauses, and they are connected by conjunctions. You must put a comma in front of the conjunction, and then you can write the next sentence. So let's take a look how those conjunctions look in a sentences. But before we go there, let's take a look at the list of the conjunctions. Conjunctions in a compound sentence are for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So here we have some examples of the sentence with the conjunctions. Now, if you would like, you can pause that video. You can actually take a look at the examples, create your own. And if you want to share with me in a comment, I will definitely check them out. Don't forget, you need a comma in those sentences before the conjunction can be written in a sentence. Good luck, and let's move on to part 3. Well, before we get to move to part 3, there is a little practice. So, which conjunctions is correct? Please pause the video for a few minutes and do the practice. And then let's check the results. Okay, if you answered like I did, and all the red words are exactly like yours, you've done a good job. Now we can move on to the next part. Now we're going to talk about the next sentence, which is called a complex sentence. And let me tell you, the level of difficulty is going up. So, this particular sentence has 2 parts, an independent clause and a dependent clause. A dependent clause, however, is not a sentence on its own. So, in order to create a full sentence, we also need that the independent clause that will provide the extra information and will create that full and complete sentence. Otherwise, it's an unfinished thought and the reader will not understand what we're trying to write. So, when our complex sentence begins with a dependent clause, we have to put a comma in the middle of the sentence, and then we're going to provide an independent clause. However, if our sentence starts with the independent clause, then our subordinating conjunction will end up in the middle of the sentence, and our comma is not necessary there. So let's take a look at the conjunctions that we can use in this sentence. So, for example, we can use words like after, although, even though, until, when, whenever, while, although, because, as soon as, and many others. I am more than sure that you're familiar with some of them, because if you have studied other parts of grammar, you actually met these subordinating conjunctions already. So, take a look at them, get familiar, look at the sentence structure, and you know what's time for a little practice. Okay, take a look at the sentences and combine them using subordinating conjunctions. However, there can be more than one option. And you know what? They're all correct. So don't think about only one word, but actually try to think outside of the box and maybe find another solution. In our case, well, pause the video for a moment. Try to figure out the correct conjunction, and maybe you will find more than one option. And then let's check the answers. I am sure you already did it. So take a look at my answers. See if you agree with them. Maybe you have another idea. Now we're moving on to the last part of the sentence structure. And the last on our list is a complex compound sentence. Well, this particular sentence usually contains one dependent clause and 2 or more independent clauses. And you, of course, know already what they are and how to form them. So let's talk about a little bit of the function of compound and compound complex sentences. Their idea is to connect similar ideas, or sometimes they're used to compare and contrast some ideas, especially when we're writing about two different things. They can also convey cause and effect, and they can talk about chain of events that we're discussing or writing about. So, since you are already familiar what is an independent clause and what is a dependent clause, we can definitely go ahead and do some practice. Okay, in this practice, you need to combine the sentences using correct conjunctions. You know, there are maybe many options, so stop the video for as long as you need. Read the sentences carefully and try to combine them to the best you can. And then let's check the answers. All right, and here are the answers. How did you do? Did you pick the same ones as I did? Or maybe you've got something else. If you want, you can share your ideas in a comment of the video and allow others to learn from you. And now that you have learned all 4 sentence structures, and I'm sure you're good at it already, we have a little test. Are you able to decide which is basic, compound, complex, or compound complex sentence? You may want to pause that video for as long as you want and use the letters included to determine which sentence is which. Good luck! Okay, here are the answers. If your answers match mine, you've got 100 points. You've done a good job and you definitely acquired the knowledge. So now you know writing may not be too difficult, and sentences, we can learn them, right? Well, this is the end of our adventure with sentence structure. I definitely hope you learned a lot. I hope you can use it later for your own benefit. I hope your writing will be fabulous and full of fantastic details and this fabulous sentence structures that you have just acquired. So please share your opinion with me. How did you like it? And you can always subscribe and you like the channel and share it with others. Have fun writing.